Chapter 5. Dealing with Traders. Getting your stuff together in categories is particularly useful when it comes to dealing with traders. It helps you do business quickly and also gets these people away from you as fast as human decency will allow. From what I can ascertain, market traders are, in fact, vampires. No, I'm not saying that they're a horde of blood-sucking monsters. I'm talking about the fact that these people will already be waiting for you when you arrive, and will act quickly, often not even waiting for you to be out of your car before they ask you for certain things, all clearly so they can make it back home before the sun rises. Now, as horrible as this sounds, it's actually rather cool. And the reason is that these trader vampires all follow the same pattern, meaning they're all after similar stock. Good news, I've done your research for you, and the list is pretty short. It is in no particular order: mobile phones, vinyl records, electronics, and jewellery. More recently, there has been an increase in the number of people asking for trainers. I personally didn't understand the fascination, but online research shows me that it can prove to be a very profitable business if you truly know your market and have an eye for rare pieces. In many ways, it's a lot like finding a piece of fine art, except they're shoes. I know, even when I type it even feels a little ridiculous. I wear my trainers, and when they're no longer comfortable, I throw them away. Then I'd like to think that if I weren't the sort of bloke who happily shops in Primark and Lidl as well as John Lewis and Selfridges, that this book may never have been written. It's a world seen not so much through rose-tinted glasses as through glasses which make everything look, well, how they would look to a cynical middle-aged git. Now, if you have any of these items, make sure that you pack them separately to everything else. Ideally, one box for each group, and have a smaller box for jewellery. Plus, when you are loading up your car, make sure that that smaller box travels up front with you, but also that the other boxes are within easy reach. These buyers are not known for their patience, and if they're made to stand there whilst you take 12 other boxes out first, then they won't hang around for long. Remember, the sun is rising. They have to be quick. So quick, in fact, that even their speech patterns are abbreviated and rushed. Whereas a normal mortal human may ask, "Good morning, I've come here today in hopes of securing one or indeed a small quantity of mobile phones. Would you perchance have any which you would consider selling to me?" "Any mobile" is more likely what you're going to hear. And remember, you won't hear it all that clearly because they will have not even waited for you to stop the engine and get out of the car. Now, your first reaction, and an understandable one, will be to celebrate the fact that you've started making money before you've even set foot on the cold, damp grass. This, however, would be a mistake. You see, not only are these vampires racing against the sun in order to avoid being reduced to ash, they're also racing against each other, so your patience will give you the upper hand. Once you're given an offer for the phone, simply ask them to come back in 15 minutes. Now, I can assure you that their first response will not be a hearty shrug of the shoulders and an agreeable nod. They will immediately default to telling you that you'll not get a better offer and they cannot wait around all day and blah blah blah, white noise blah blah. If they tell you that they're not coming back, then please do try and hold back your tears. These vampires really are like buses, and that their pricing structure is an absolute joke, and they also smell a bit funny. The vinyl collectors and jewellers are a little less abrasive, and we'll come on to them later. Purely for research purposes, and because the bacon roll van hadn't yet opened, I once asked one of the mobile phone vampires if he could explain how it all works to me. I explained that I was writing this book, and, well, here's how that conversation went. MTV, Male Trader Vampire. Cool initials, by the way. "Any mobile phones, boss?" "Oh, yes, did I mention that a lot of them will call you boss?" Well, they will, with the promise of a delightful cocktail of bruv, mate and fam to follow. No, mobiles, sorry, but can I ask you something?" Yeah, no words at this stage, just an expression that a normal person might give them if you'd ask them to prove the theory of relativity whilst juggling a set of Mars bars. "You buy these to sell, right?" "Yes, boss." "But you don't sell them here, you go to another market?" No, we sell them here." "But then why would I sell them to you at a lower price when I could just wait for the customer that was going to buy it from you at a higher price to come to me and just sell it to him for that myself? MTV begins to shake his head and walk away. I was concerned that I may have bamboozled the poor man until my neighbouring stallholder remarked that this was a perfectly logical question. I never did get my answer, but I imagine it's because some buyers will flock to those stands which are known for selling electronics, rather than someone who is merely clearing out their junk. As such, those stallholders can buy from the people selling junk, put a small markup on each one of them, and sell them at a profit. Actually, now I think about it, it makes perfect sense, which does beg the question of why the vampire simply didn't want to explain it. Then again, the first glimpse of the sun had just popped over the horizon.